August 26th, Tuesday. And hope everybody doing well and enjoying this early fall weather here. And we've been talking about what's going on in Gaza and the fact now genocide has been normalized and streamed, first time streamed in the front of millions of people, and how the West, led by the Americans, denying the involvement and the participation of this genocide by material help, weapons, intelligence, and money and lies and military political coverage, and becoming, talking about almost over 100,000 people killed in Gaza, mostly civilians and mostly women and children. And we're still talking about October 7 has the right to exist, and all this language of justifying genocide and rationalize it. It's like the issue now is not the savage and the state of Israel that's becoming now like a pariah state. It really has no history, has no present or future. All their history, that is, years of violation of international law and helping dictators and right wings, been a military vessel for the West, disrupting and kind of destruction and disruption of the whole area there in the Middle East. So people don't ask why this savage destruction of Gaza and the killing of thousands of Palestinians, and they're not questioning the Israelis' act. They just question the Palestinian resistance. Even people in the Middle East now, they start blaming Hamas or blaming the Palestinian resistance. If it wasn't Hamas, if it wasn't October 7, that would not happen. If it wasn't this, if they just Hamas, hand out and drop their weapons, the war will end right away. All this narrative, we heard it before. We heard it in the areas asking the PLO, the Palestinians resisting at the time, to drop their weapons in Lebanon, and then Sabra and Shatila massacre happened like 4 days later, which was under the protection of United Nations, the American and the British and the Canadian and European troops, workers and the European soldiers left, and the United Nations left for 4 or 5 days. So so they let this thugs comes and slaughter hundreds and hundreds of Palestinians, children and women. So there is no way those Palestinian resistance are going to hand out their weapon. There is no way. It's just that's the nature of resistance. Nobody's asking the Israelis' occupation and apartheid and the killing and all of that to stop. Nobody is, when the French were fighting the Nazi, nobody blaming de Gaulle and his fighters for the destruction of Paris. Nobody blamed the British resistance or the American resistance for the destruction in the Civil War. Nobody blaming the the resistance. They said the same thing with the resistance in Vietnam, and if they just hand in their weapons, the war will end. Destruction of Vietnam. So blaming the victims, blaming the resistance, it's an old way of the West how to weaponize resistance, and anybody who resists the West is a terrorist. You have a democratic elected governor in Gaza, and once they resist the occupation, they are terrorists. You have the elected government in Venezuela, and once they nationalize the oil, they are terrorists. The same thing in Iran. In the 50s, you have an elected leader, and once they nationalize the oil, he is a terrorist. And, you have military coup, and the same thing. All the national movement in Africa and Asia and Arab world and Middle East, once they nationalize resources, they become terrorists, and then the interference and military coup and Lobomba and Nehru and all these African leaders in the 60s, that they want a different uh, uh, narrative. They want different ways of running their own resources, and they became terrorists, and then a military coup, and masterminded by the CIA took place, and they changed those leaders in Africa and Arab world, and in Asia. So this is really a normalization of genocide, a normalization of a pariah state. There was a journalist pressing the prime minister of Israel, and it was just now I know when Mossad was founded. Mossad, this is like the CIA of Israel, handling the intelligence, and it's under the prime minister office. It operates to uh, plotting and providing intelligence, and committing assassinations all over the world, hunting down anybody who resists, in Europe, hunting down legally scientists, fighters, leaders, political leaders. We're asking what Mossad, Mossad is a Hebrew name, meaning the Institute of Intelligence. And it's just an institution, that's a Hebrew name for it. And the prime ministers explained at the time Israeli Secret Intelligence Service, ISIS. Here we go, right away. I didn't come up with this. So Mossad is ISIS. It's a Jewish ISIS, a Zionist ISIS, Israeli Service Intelligence Service. So this is what it is. This is really, anything goes in Israel has to go through Mossad and the military, the same way the Islamic, what they call ISIS, was just same image. This is a Jewish state exclusively, and people from all over the world, extremists, go and join uh, uh, the military, or go there in Israel and stealing land and killing civilian Palestinian, and carrying guns, and it's the same thing, establishing of Islamic ISIS and establishing for the Jewish state. And it's just the fact that the Islamic ISIS killed mostly Muslims in the Middle East, and it was fought mostly by Muslims, rejected by most Muslims. Nobody took this serious. But the Jewish ISIS, they were supported by the West. So, and they killed mostly, the Jewish ISIS. They are occupying and killing Arab and Palestinians and Muslims in the area. So the idea that Arab and Muslim are terrorists are and dangerous and out of control and it's really bizarre. The reality and history does not really reflect that. And you see, the Jewish ISIS are just run by extremist government and they might not be hitting people like the Islamic ISIS in the front of television with a sword or whatever, but the Jewish ISIS be hitting people with drones and bombs and bombing hospitals and killing children and women and starving millions of Palestinians. Uh, uh, Israel Prime Minister called the latest strike on Nasser's hospital that kills 20 people, including 5 journalists, a tragic mishap, just a mistake. We don't do this. Killing 100,000 Palestinians and destruction of a whole city over the last 2 years. Was that a mistake? So the Jewish ISIS is not stealing Palestinian land and olive trees and bombing and destruction. They are stealing the narrative, recruiting extremists from all over the world. 20,000, over 20,000 Americans are fighting with the IDF. Uh, so even, it's not all about October 7 and Hamas military resistance. What's going on in West Bank? They did not resist. They did not carry weapons. Now it's almost taken over and annexed to Israel, and people are, in jail, present, cannot go anywhere, and having more settlers, new settlers, and the settlers have machine guns, and the Palestinians who own the land and live the land of thousands of years now are helpless. So it's not about Gaza and Hamas and resistance. It's about this Jewish ISIS that they want to dominate and have a religious supremacy over the natives and all the narratives of officials that demonize and treat Palestinian and Arab like animals, and they have no moral. The only the Palestinians are vicious and violent. The Israelis and the Zionists are the one who really are forced to kill them because they just want to kill us. I remember 1969 Prime Minister of Israel, Golda Meir, which is an American born. I think she was born raised in Wisconsin. Explained this fraud Zionist mentality about morality. She was saying, when peace comes, we will perhaps in time be able to forgive the Arabs for killing our children. The Arabs, she doesn't want to say Palestinians, she never did. Palestine did not exist, it's the Arabs. But it will be harder for us to forgive them for having forced us to kill their children. So the idea we are killing their children, we're still the victims. The Palestinian, the Arabs, are forcing us to kill their children. Otherwise we are very peaceful, civilized. And this is the idea, but you see the ideology of the Jewish ISIS that we are more civilized, more modern, and more intelligent than the Arabs. And that's why we deserve the land. That's why they are there as an obstacle. We are the chosen people. This is our land, promised to us for 1,000 years. This land was promised to Netanyahu's government and the IDF and Mossad and ISIS. Uh, this is the same idea of the white settler came from Europe to here, to establish the new America, the promised land. It's this land. There is no history. There is no native, and this is our land. And the natives are just millions of them were vanished, killed, uh, uh, spreading diseases, and because this is our land, this is a promised land, promise for the white European. This is the new America. So, uh, uh, to just give you an idea about the mentality of the Jewish ISIS, the French and the British now and Canadian, Germany asking for state of establishing a state of Palestine, founding a Palestinian state after the Palestinian resistance put their down their weapon. And this is little too late after they enable the Jewish ISIS for destruction and committing genocide run by Jewish Taliban in Netanyahu's government. It's too little too late. There is no state to be found. Even actually, an Israeli official reacted. Look, I'm quoting here: establishing a Palestinian state on land soaked with the sacred blood of the Jew, equal a reward for terrorism and a victory for the modern day Nazis. He called the Palestinians are Nazis. This mentality of the Jewish ISIS, of Zionists, that the one who's using the Nazi techniques and Nazi ideology of supremacy, of a race, of a religion, to eliminate and kill the natives. They are accusing accuse the Palestinians of being Nazis. This guy's a member of the Knesset. Uh, Also, another one: shout free Palestine and keep crying. We will destroy you. Imagine how many of you we will kill for each one of those you killed on October 7th. You will go up to meet Allah. This is a journalist, Shah Golden. This is a member of Knesset, Booz Bishmas. Um, and even the journalist, an Israeli journalist, who will say such thing. Um Rabbi Meir Mazuz, a Sephardic leader, showed his real attitude toward Palestinians by, he's saying this, his quote: if the people of Gaza were human, we would have sent them humanitarian aid. But this is about animal. This is our the official. These are people elected. This is our the people running the Jewish ISIS. But anyway, I can go on and on about the mentality and the culture and the mind of sick mind of the Jewish ISIS. But I'm gonna end it with a poem by the founder of right-wing Zionism, Zeev Zebentinsky. With blood and with sweat, we will forge a superior breed, a new pure Hebrew race, proud, ruthless, and chosen. In the desert and in the depths of land, we will battle, and through violence, give birth. Sounds like coming straight from the ISIS manifesto, but which one? Okay, this is all I want to rant about today. This is tragic, and this is really happening right in the front of our eyes. So help check our website, and don't forget that The Coptic Grave, my film documentary, will be screening on September 25th, San Anthony, Maine. So check our website. You'll see all the information. Would like to see you there. This is a film that I worked on for almost 15 years about the Christian man that he lived in my village and died, and he was buried in my family cemetery. So we'll see you next rant, and